Ciao a tutti, welcome back. Today I have a VIP in the car with me. Introduce yourself.
Ciao a tutti, I'm Giulia, the original one, and I also happen to be her twin sister.
And it's spelled the same way because we're Italian, so it's Giulia. So we have very little in common, even though we're twin sisters. And I think I got all of the car genes, for sure. She doesn't care that much,
Not very much.
So what do you think of cars in general? Do you, from a level from 1 to 10, do you like cars? Do you not care too much about cars?
Don't really care that much engine-wise. Look-wise, I do notice very nice cars. You know, this car, if it drove by, I would definitely stop and look at it and maybe take a picture or 5. But engine-wise, I don't really care, and I don't really understand enough to have an opinion of the engine itself.
So from 1 to 10, combined looks-wise and engine-wise and all of that wise, what would you say in general for normal cars? What do you think?
How much I care about a car?
Yes.
If it looks good and if it's safe and it takes me where I need to go, that's good enough for me.
Okay, so she doesn't care that much. But this car, when you first saw it...
This is a nice car though. I do care about this car.
Okay. So what do you like the most?
About this car?
Yes, about the Giulia.
Well, the Giulia, everything. The look, the color. I like the clover painted on it. It's really neat.
Okay.
And I do appreciate the rumble of the engine when we're driving places.
Okay, so do you think this replaces the Mini Cooper as your dream car?
New Mini Cooper, yes, but old Mini Coopers from the 60s and 70s, I don't know, it's touch and go there.
Okay, so would you be interested in driving the car?
Yes.
Okay, so let's pull over and have Giulia drive the Giulia.
Inception.
Giuliaception. So here we have Giulia in the Giulia. So now you're in dynamic mode. Do you think you want to switch to race mode after, or no?
You might as well have said that to me in Greek.
Okay, so let's keep it dynamic mode.
Yes. The cops stopped you at all?
Yeah, one time, you remember the cop in DC? He wanted to hear the... You can floor it.
Ooh, this accelerates way too easily. Go! Ci mica posso superare il limite.
Just the one time the cop in DC asked us to floor it in front of him because he wanted to hear the exhaust.
So now we're taking this on a mountain road.
When the weather is good, for sure.
So girls trip.
Me and you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you like the car,
Yeah,
and
it's really nice. Drives wonderful too.
so if you let me give you a comparison. Would you buy this in terms of looks, or an Audi, or a BMW? Okay, perfect. Are you biased because it's your same name?
No, there's too many Audi and BMWs. Alfa Romeo is a lot more unique.
Okay.
At least in this country, you know.
Okay, so thank you for driving.
Why buy it when I can borrow it anytime, right?
Yes, of course. Thank you for being part of this video.
Anytime.
Ciao.
Ciao.
So this is my dad.
Hi,
What's your
this
name?
is Angelo. Happy father of Claudia and Giulia and another one, which is not with us today.
So he really loves cars. That's where I got my love for cars from. And he's going to drive the car and then tell us what he thinks, and especially give us a lot of comparison with the other trims of Giulia, which you have driven in Italy, so you can give us a nice comparison on those.
All right. So what I think about the car is that I fall in love with that as soon as I've seen her, because she's so beautiful. I'm talking about the car, of course. So
Not that
very,
Giulia?
not at all. So very beautiful that this is really, I don't know if you have seen one on the street in the flesh, but it's really a wonderful car. I think to take some clue from Claudia, if we want to try to make a comparison with other cars, first Japanese or Korean cars because I don't know them. I've been driving a few of them in the past, but not this kind of car. If you drive a Corolla or a Camry, with all respect for those two Toyotas, you are in a different world. I know a little bit about European car makers, particularly Audi, BMW, Porsche some time ago, and Mercedes.
So really, we would compare it with Audis and BMWs.
I don't know if Audi has a car which can be compared to this one, because the S4 is a wonderful car, but it's not here. It's not in this league. It has the new model has something around 350 horsepower. Here we are talking about 500 and plus. So it's a very nice car, but it's very for a family. It's a sporty car for a family, nothing more than that. So if we want to compare this car to other cars, I don't really think that there is any car which is as good as this one. However, we have to take into account BMW, the 3 Series, and Mercedes, the C Series. Anyway, comparing one car to another is difficult because I'm driving this car. I've been driving this car just for maybe 20 miles, 25 miles, so I don't know much of it, but I have a feeling. I don't have the same feeling for an M3 or for a C Mercedes AMG. However, if you look at the cars, if you sit in the cars, I don't think, sorry, there is a lot of police around, so I might be distracted. I don't think that we are talking about the same kind of car. Okay, if you want to think properly, in my opinion, you have to look at the way these 3 cars, I'm talking about the Giulia, Quadrifoglio, the M3 and the C AMG, how they were born. Because both in the Mercedes and in the BMW case, we saw a prototype many years before that the car was actually produced and sold, but the prototype was then translated into a sedan. Nice sedans, possibly even sporty sedans, but sedans. At the later stage, Mercedes and BMW decided to produce the AMG version and the M3. Beautiful cars. However, both manufacturers, they started from a sedan and they developed a sporty version of the same. Here is just the opposite. I believe that Alfa Romeo conceived and designed the Quadrifoglio Verde, and after that,
it's not Quadrifoglio Verde. I've gotten a lot of problems with that. It's just Quadrifoglio.
Quadrifoglio, whatever. But the color of the Quadrifoglio anyway is green also, this car. So, and I believe that in Italy it's called Quadrifoglio Verde. So sorry, the Quadrifoglio is the first one that we saw, and we saw it in videos, in pictures, and then we start seeing the car in the flesh, and I fell in love with it because this car is absolutely beautiful, and it was designed by the engineers in Alfa Romeo. Where do we have to go, Claudia? Always straight. Was designed as a Quadrifoglio. After the Quadrifoglio, Alfa decided to start marketing the lesser versions, which in my opinion it's a very smart marketing strategy, because everybody who goes to an Alfa Romeo dealer, the first thing that will remember and the first thing that is impressed in his or her brain is the Quadrifoglio. So there is some bias in favor of the Giulia, and this I believe is going to help sales worldwide of Alfa Romeo Giulia.
So you drove the, let's say, base models of the Giulia. So you drove the Super and the Veloce, which here I think is TI
I didn't drive any Veloce because when I wanted to drive it, there was none in the dealer where I'm living. It's still straight, or I have to go to the
No.
straight?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't able to drive the Veloce, but I drove the Super in the diesel version, 2.2 liters with 180 horsepower, which is a very nice car, handles very well, nothing to compare to this one, of course, and also the performances are completely different. However, again, I insist, when I was looking at the Giulia Super, I had in my heart, and I believe also in my brain, flashes of the Quadrifoglio. So the car, the Giulia, the normal Giulia, looked to me extremely beautiful. Not inside, because the finishing inside it's not great, while on the contrary of the Quadrifoglio we have a beautiful finish. But the outside, yes. So maybe when I decide to change my car, which is going to be next year, I will take into consideration the Giulia, in this case the Veloce, with quite some likelihood that I'm going to buy it.
And right now you drive
An Audi.
okay. So you will give up Audi's much nicer interior quality to get the fashion, or how do you say fashion?
It's not the fascination of the car.
The character of Alfa.
The handling of Alfa and the beauty of Alfa. Not that all these are ugly cars or they don't handle well, but they are different. They are different. For once, the Audi that I'm considering are front wheel drives, and the Giulia is a rear wheel drives. And there is a world of difference when you drive one and the other. The finishing in Audi average is better, to my understanding, to my judgment, which is my own judgment. But I believe that the engine, the handling, and the ride of the car and the beauty of the car are in favor of Alfa. I definitely would say that if you want to compare the Giulia, the only car to which it can be compared is the M3. It looks M3. I don't know the price in the United States. I believe that is more or less equal to the one of the Giulia.
A little bit less.
It's a lovely car. The performances are, I read, very good, but not as good as the Alfa. And it's a car that is a bit, let's say, predictable. So it's what you expect from a BMW, nothing less, nothing more. Giulia it's a different horizon. I find that it is a new car, and that is a car that has a lot of glare and glare. So I don't know. Having the possibility in Italy of buying one or the other, I'm almost sure that I would buy the